Okay, so thank you for joining us here for our results release. I think we've had by all accounts, a great year, and we'll talk about, Kedar will cover some of the financial specifics, but we've met almost every one of our goals that we laid out for ourselves in this year. This quarter is a little low because of reverse seasonality that happens in our India business, and you know that Cipla's trajectory is fairly dependent on India. Considering the fact that it's our largest market. So we've had some reverse seasonality, which is typical of every quarter four. And that's why this time's results seem a little bit as an aberration when compared to quarter two, quarter three. But it's in line with how we planned the year. There's nothing in this quarter that we think that we need to be alarmed about. So just going through the results, quarter four, we're showing a 5% growth in sales adjusted for GST. We're showing a 10% improvement in EBITDA. We are showing a PAT improvement of 6%, and there are some exceptional items that Kedar will talk about in the presentation. So altogether, we had predicted that this year would be somewhere between 16 to 18% on EBITDA. The year's ending up at about 18.6%. So it's ahead of our guidance range. Our revenues are up 6% adjusted for GST. And profit after tax is up 40%. So I think we've had a great year. Most of our key markets have shown great growth. India has shown a growth in the quarter of about 21%, in the year of about 11% adjusted for GST. US is showing growth. Our launches are coming through. We're hoping that the launch trajectory would build up in the years ahead, in the months and the quarters ahead, as well as the years ahead. Of course, this quarter, we wanted to show a little bit more. We're a little short. That's because of certain supply issues that we had in regards to our plants in North America. South Africa continues its golden run. I think we're beginning to see great growth from the market there, and it's continued. So we've got limited competition products launching in the US. We're stepping up investments in R&D, and key markets are on track. So that's a snapshot of our year performance and the quarterly performance. I'll now request Kedar to go through some of the slides on each of the markets and the financial performance, and I'll come back right at the end to talk to you about what goals we have for the year ahead.
Thank you, Umang. So we ended the year with very strong note. Umang alluded to these numbers. We have grown our revenues from operations by 4%. This is reported. Adjusted for GST, this is 5%. Our EBITDA for the full year is 18.6. This is higher than the higher end of the range that we had set for ourselves. Our EBITDA in absolute terms increased YOY by 14.2%. So you can see that the growth in EBITDA is higher than the growth in revenues, which means margins have expanded and operating leverage has got played out. Our profit after tax has grown by 40% compared to last full year. PAT is now at 9.3%. So very strong story on margin expansion, very strong story on cost control, very strong story on product mix improvement. Revenue breakup you can see on this slide. India, our home market, is at 40%. North America is 17%. SAGA, which is the region that we formed, which includes South Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, and the global access business, is 22%. Emerging markets is at 11%. So it's fairly well diversified global footprint. Coming to quarter four, we grew our revenues by 3%. EBITDA has gone up by 10%. So again, I think the margin expansion and operating leverage is reflected in the P&L. PAT is 4.8% to revenue. That includes 2-3 adjustments and certain one-time costs in sales and distribution. If you adjust those three, the PAT for the quarter is quite healthy at about 7.6%. This slide refers to cash flow generation. There are three metrics: net debt metric, which is a metric of financial leverage. Net debt to equity is again normalized measure of financial leverage, and net debt to EBITDA is indicating the debt service capacity, and you can see very healthy improvement in all three. Compared to March 17, net debt has come down by 23%. Net debt to equity is 0.14, so we are significantly under leveraged, which means we have created a lot of borrowing capacity during the year. And net debt to EBITDA is 0.72 now. Remember, in all these three, lower the better. I mean, reduction denotes improvement, and it's come on the back of several initiatives that we had spoken throughout the year. I'll quickly cover each of the market. Both the prescription and generic segment in India this quarter is 13% reported growth. Adjusted for the GST classification, it's very healthy at 21%. Full year, the growth is 6% on a reported basis. On an adjusted, it's 10%, and that is accounting for the destocking that we experienced in first quarter before the implementation of GST. More importantly, you can see that now in FY19, we are looking at this market which was $1 billion. It is one of the flag bearer markets for us. There are various comments. I think you can read through this in key, therapeutic categories of cardio, for example. Our growth has been 9% over the market growth of 6%. Respiratory, we have grown very healthy. Urology, we have grown very healthy. All these details are available. Please go through it. North America business, we are trying to build now our portfolio in this geography. During the last few months, we launched 2-3 complex products. So Decitabine, which is generic version of Bacogen, Budesonide, which is a generic version of Pulmicort, where these two. And recently, we have launched the authorized generic of Palonosetron as well. So based on this very improved launch run rate, you could expect us to show further improvement in the coming periods. We continue to be among the top 10 most dispensed generic company in the US. And you can see the share numbers, 13 out of the 52 products that we have in the market, we are in leadership position. This talks about the total ANDAs which we have filed and which are pending for approval. You can see the split of this in terms of various dimensions. It's very important from the US pipeline standpoint to see the quality of ANDAs which are pending for approval and not the quantum. And you can see that from a market potential standpoint, dosage form standpoint, various therapeutic areas, we are very decently placed, and we are looking forward to monetize this pipeline in the coming years. South Africa, for the quarter, in ZAR terms, we have grown at 16%. Dollar terms, this will be higher because we got a currency benefit. For the full year, this is 17%, and in ZAR terms, it's about 14%. We are now the third largest company and fourth largest in private market in South Africa. Significant outperformance across various therapeutic areas, and we have launched the first to market pregabalin from the Teva portfolio, which we had licensed some time back. In emerging markets, Europe and API, which are significant territories for us outside domestic business and Saga and US, we face headwinds in some of the regions. In Europe, you know that we have completed the transition from a business to business to a direct to market presence. From a DTM to a B2B model. So that created some impact on the pipeline. And last year in the base, we had some one-time revenue, so that is reflected in the decline on a YOY basis. API, our revenues continue to be very high margin. So just a recap before I hand over the deck to Umang. We referred to the US and very happy to see the launch of differentiated products in the last few months. Hoping to see a ramp up in the coming quarters. Very strong momentum continued in the domestic business. South Africa will continue to be ahead of the market. Specialty, our product Tizanidine patch is progressing smoothly, and we are evaluating multiple assets to build a portfolio for specialty. R&D, we are aggressively investing, now 7.1% of revenues for the full year. This quarter is a little bit higher because of the clinical trial for Advair that we have initiated.
So coming back to priorities for the next year, we are signaling above average market growth. So we're going to beat industry growth, both in India, in South Africa, and some of our other emerging markets. So all three of those territories will beat market growth, will be above that. In the US, we are looking forward to our guidance earlier of one limited competition launch at least for every quarter. We're maintaining that, and we're hoping that our supply issues get resolved by another month or so. And in some of the other emerging markets, we're looking at leadership and key therapy growth. EBITDA, we're signaling margin expansion over our current year base. So if we ended at 18.6% this year, we're signaling margin expansion over that into next year. R&D spend will continue to be at between 7 to 8%. The bedrock of our organization is quality compliance at all sites, and we're signaling we've had some successful audits of late, and we are wanting to maintain the standards of those quality in all future inspections. And the filing momentum will continue in the US as well as other emerging markets. So I think with that snapshot, that's what we are guiding to in FY19. We remain optimistic of our business trajectory, and also at the end, Cipla will continue to care for life, will continue to care for patients. Several initiatives that we've taken, whether it's providing rectal artesunate or several other products which make a difference to people's lives, all those initiatives will keep continuing. And we would expect more and more of those to play out from the Cipla statement. So thank you for your interest in Cipla. We are open to questions right now.